Capricorn. Between July 15th and 17th, something rare is happening above you, and it may quietly change the direction of your life. Welcome back, Capricorn. If you're watching this, I don't think it's an accident. This isn't your typical horoscope. This is a symbolic, spiritual message about confidence, love, abundance, and purpose. Stay with me until the end, because the final message may be exactly what you've been waiting to hear. 1. Why this rare alignment matters. Right now, in the sky above you, 3 powerful symbols are lining up in a way that doesn't happen often. Let's talk about what each one means, not in complicated astronomy terms, but in the language of the soul. First, the crescent moon. In almost every spiritual tradition, the crescent isn't seen as something incomplete. It's seen as a beginning, a doorway, a sliver of light in the darkness that says something new is being born. When the crescent moon appears, it doesn't ask you to be finished. It asks you to be willing to grow a little more, to open a little wider, to trust that what looks small right now can become something whole. Then there's Venus. Venus has been called the planet of love since ancient civilizations first looked up and gave her a name. But Venus isn't only about romance. She's about beauty, magnetism, prosperity, and the quiet art of attraction. The way certain people, certain opportunities, certain blessings seem to be drawn toward you, without you forcing anything at all. When Venus is active in your life, doors don't need to be kicked open. They simply open. And then, Regulus. Ancient astrologers called Regulus the Royal Star. For thousands of years it's been associated with leadership, courage, honor, and destiny. It's the star of kings, but not kings in the sense of thrones and crowns. Kings in the sense of people who finally step into who they were always meant to be. When Regulus is highlighted, it's a call to stop shrinking, to stop waiting for permission, to lead your own life. Now imagine all 3 of these symbols, new beginnings, magnetic love and abundance, and royal courage, converging at the same moment. That's what's happening for you, Capricorn. Between July 15th and 17th, it's rare, it's emotionally significant, and it may be pointing toward a shift you didn't even know was coming. So what does this actually mean for your life? Let's talk about where you've really been lately, because I think you already feel that something is different. 2. Capricorn's energy is quietly changing. Capricorn, I want to speak honestly with you for a moment, because I think you've been carrying more than you've let anyone see. You've been tired. Not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep fixes, the kind that comes from holding yourself together while things around you kept shifting, delaying, and testing your patience. You've worked hard, you've shown up, even on the days you didn't want to. And still some doors seem to stay closed a little longer than you expected. Maybe there was a plan that didn't unfold on your timeline. Maybe there was a relationship, a job, or a goal that asked you to wait, and wait, and wait again. If you're honest, there were nights you quietly wondered if your effort was even being noticed at all. Here's what I want you to understand. None of that waiting was wasted. Capricorn, you are ruled by discipline and endurance for a reason. Your sign doesn't build lasting things quickly. It builds them to last. And every delay you faced wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. The universe doesn't hand a foundation to someone before they've learned how to hold weight. It was making sure that when your moment finally came, you'd be ready to keep it. There's an old truth that shows up again and again in every culture, every tradition, every story of someone who eventually rose. The hardest seasons often arrive right before the breakthrough. Not after it. Right before it. The final stretch of winter always feels the longest, precisely because spring is that close. So if you've felt emotionally worn down lately, if you felt unseen, delayed, or disappointed, I want you to hear this clearly. That season is not a sign that you were forgotten. It was quiet preparation, and preparation only exists because something worth preparing for is coming. That's exactly what this alignment is pointing to. A door that has been quietly, slowly, patiently getting ready to open. And Capricorn, it's closer than you think. Let's talk about what that door actually looks like. 3. the hidden door that's finally opening. Between July 15th and 17th, pay close attention, because opportunity may not arrive the way you expect it to. For some of you, this shows up as a career shift. Maybe it's a conversation you didn't plan for, an offer that appears out of nowhere, or a project you started long ago that suddenly gets noticed again. Don't dismiss it just because it feels sudden. Sudden doesn't mean random. Sometimes it simply means the timing has finally caught up to the work you already did. For others, this is financial. Not necessarily a windfall, though don't rule that out, but a shift in how money moves toward you. An unexpected payment, a resolved debt, a financial pressure that finally eases. Venus has a way of loosening what felt stuck, especially when you've been responsible with what little you had. Some of you will feel recognition arriving after a long stretch of feeling like your effort went unnoticed. Someone finally sees it. A boss, a mentor, a stranger, even someone from your past. They acknowledge what you've built, and it lands somewhere deep in you that's been waiting to hear it. And for a few of you, this alignment brings a person, a chance encounter, a conversation with someone you weren't expecting to meet, who ends up changing the direction of something important. A friendship, a business idea, even the course of your heart. Here's the important part, Capricorn. These doors don't usually announce themselves loudly. They tend to look like small things at first, a message you almost ignore, an invitation you almost decline, a thought you almost talk yourself out of. Between now and July 17th, I want you to stay a little more alert than usual. Say yes to the small nudge. Answer the message. Show up to the thing you weren't sure about, because sometimes the biggest doors in our lives are disguised as the smallest ones. Now let's talk about what's happening inside you, because Venus isn't only working on your circumstances. She's working on your heart. Venus is softening your heart. Capricorn, you have a reputation for being strong, steady, the one who holds things together when everyone else falls apart. But strength like that comes with a cost, and I think, deep down, you know exactly what that cost has been. You've protected your heart for a long time. Maybe because it was hurt before. Maybe because you learned early that leaning on people doesn't always end well, so it felt safer to lean on yourself instead. But Venus in this alignment is gently asking you to loosen that grip. Not because it's time to be reckless, that's not who you are, but because it's time to let a little more warmth back in. This influence often shows up as emotional healing you didn't ask for. An old wound that finally stops aching the way it used to. A relationship that softens even slightly. A moment of unexpected kindness from someone. A compliment, a gesture, a small act of care that catches you off guard and reminds you that not everyone is going to disappoint you. Venus is also here to remind you of your own worth, not the worth you earn through productivity, achievement, or being useful to everyone around you, but the worth you carry is simply by existing. Capricorn, you are allowed to be loved, without having to prove you deserve it first. If you've struggled to trust people again after being let down, this window is gently inviting you to try, carefully, wisely, but sincerely. Not blind trust, earned trust. The kind that grows slowly and holds strong once it's built, which, fittingly, is exactly how you build everything else in your life. Your heart has been guarded for a good reason, but guarded forever isn't the same as protected. Let a little light back in, and while Venus softens your heart, Regulus is about to do something entirely different. It's about to lift your head. 5. The Regulus, effect Regulus, the Royal Star, doesn't ask you to be loud. It asks you to be undeniable. For a long time, Capricorn, you may have made yourself smaller than you needed to be. Not because you lack ability, you have plenty, but because you didn't want to seem arrogant, or you were taught that quiet humility was safer than visible confidence. There's nothing wrong with humility, but there's a difference between humility and hiding. Under this alignment, something in you starts to shift. You begin standing a little taller in rooms where you used to shrink, You start speaking your opinion instead of swallowing it. You stop waiting for someone else's approval before you trust your own judgment. This is the Regulus effect, an awakening of quiet leadership. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that earns it simply by being consistent, capable, and finally, unapologetically visible. You may notice your intuition getting louder too. A stronger sense of knowing what's right for you, even when you can't fully explain why. Trust that, Capricorn. Your instincts have been sharpened by everything you've been through, every delay, every disappointment, every lesson. They're not guesses anymore. They're wisdom. This is also a window for bold decisions. Not impulsive ones. You're not built for impulsiveness. But decisions you've been circling for weeks or months, waiting for the right moment. Regulus is telling you, the right moment is the one where you finally choose yourself. Stepping into personal power doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means finally letting the world see the person you've quietly been all along. Now, Capricorn, how do you know this is really happening? How do you know the universe is actually speaking to you right now, and not just wishful thinking? Let's talk about the signs. 6 to 7 powerful signs. The universe is guiding you over these next few days. Watch closely. The universe rarely shouts. It whispers through small, repeated moments. Here are 7 signs to look for. Number 1. Repeated numbers. If you keep glancing at the clock and seeing the same sequences, or noticing the same numbers on receipts, license plates, or messages, pay attention. Repetition is rarely coincidence. It's a nudge to stay awake to what's unfolding. Number 2. Unexpected invitations. Someone asks you to an event, a call, a meeting, or a gathering you weren't expecting. Don't brush it off as unimportant. Go. You may not know yet why you're meant to be there. Number 3. Vivid dreams. If your sleep has felt unusually intense lately, vivid, symbolic, emotional, that's often a sign your subconscious is processing a shift before your waking mind fully catches up. Number 4. An unusual sense of calm. Even amid uncertainty, you might notice moments of unexplainable peace. That calm isn't denial. It's often a quiet form of knowing that things are aligning, even before you can see how. Number 5. Meeting inspiring people. Someone crosses your path who radiates a kind of energy or wisdom that stays with you. These meetings are rarely random. They tend to arrive exactly when you need a certain perspective. Number 6. A strong inner knowing. A gut feeling that won't quiet down. A sense of certainty about a decision that you can't fully justify with logic, but you feel it anyway. Capricorn, that feeling has earned the right to be trusted. Number 7. Doors opening effortlessly. Watch for the moments where something you expected to be difficult suddenly isn't. A conversation flows easier than expected. A plan falls into place without the usual struggle. That ease is not luck. That's alignment. If you've noticed even 1 or 2 of these lately, Capricorn, take it seriously. You are being guided. And now I want to leave you with the message this entire alignment has been building toward. 7. Your message for July 15th to 17th, Capricorn. Hear this clearly. You have spent so long being the strong one, the responsible one, the one who waits patiently while life asks more of you than it seems to ask of others. That season is not permanent. It was never meant to be. Between July 15th and 17th, you are being invited to choose courage over fear, not because fear disappears, but because you finally decide it doesn't get to lead anymore. Destiny doesn't reward people who wait for certainty. It rewards people who move forward while still a little unsure, trusting that clarity comes after the first step, not before it. You have already done the hard part. You endured the delays. You held on through the disappointments. You kept showing up even when no one was clapping for you. That was the work. What comes next is simply the harvest of everything you already planted. So when the small door opens, take it. When the quiet nudge appears, follow it. When your own voice tells you it's time, believe it. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. And Capricorn, Your next chapter is closer than it has ever been. 8. Final spiritual reflection. Before you go, I want you to pause with me for just a moment. Take a breath and quietly, either out loud or in your mind, repeat this with me. I am ready for what's coming. I release what delayed me, and I welcome what's meant for me. Let that settle in your chest for a second. Capricorn, remember this. Every ending in life, even the quiet, painful ones, creates space for a new beginning. The Crescent Moon doesn't apologize for being small. It simply trusts that it's on its way to becoming full. So are you. If this message resonated with you, comment, I am ready, below, right now, as a way of affirming your next chapter. If you felt something while watching this, like this video. It helps this message reach the next Capricorn who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more Capricorn spiritual guidance, because this journey is only just beginning. And if there's another Capricorn in your life who's been waiting for a sign, share this with them before July 17th. Sometimes the right message arrives at exactly the right moment, and maybe, today, this was theirs.